It's that time of year again where I look back over a long year's worth of review work and name my best and most standouts hi-fi and AV products of the year, so of 2024, the products that I would love to have in my system in 2025. And this video is just about speakers. So, drum roll please. Let's begin. This video is just looking at speakers, my best and most standout speakers of the year. And in order to qualify for that, I needed to have either reviewed those speakers this year or spent some considerable time with them. And I want to give you some context because for 2024, I decided that I only wanted to look at larger speakers. So generally tower or floor standing speakers. And the reason I did that is because I feel the hi-fi YouTube space talks a hell of a lot about stand mount speakers, and I've been very guilty of this in the past. And while stand mount speakers are fantastic and very suitable to a lot of people, they're not the only speakers on the market, right? You know, there's loads of tower and floor standing speakers out there that are fantastic, and generally the sound that I like with big scale, big bass, you know, really dynamic sounding speakers, generally tower speakers do that better. And this is definitely something that I want to continue in 2025. And I reviewed 7 different floor standing or tower speakers this year. However, I spent time with a lot more different speakers than that, ranging in price from about £2,000 up to around £200,000, so a huge variety. And I think that is super important because as a professional audio reviewer, I think it's important to listen to as much really good hi-fi as possible, because I think it's important to reset your expectation points, right? You reset your benchmarks and reference points as often as possible so you can better judge everything else against that. It's in that vein that I say the best sounding speaker I had here to review this year was the German Physiks Borderland MK IV. What a stunningly good hi-fi speaker they are. And I think it's the combination of the very wide band DDD driver and how that has no crossover until the bass region, and how free sounding the speakers are because they are not constrained by a cabinet around the DDD driver. So there's no cabinet around the vocals, around the mid-range and around the treble. So that all just sounds so free. But then the built-in passive 12-inch subwoofer produces a lot of great bass, but also blends and supports the upper bass and vocal regions so well that you get a lovely full and warm and fantastic vocal. And all of that matters more to me than the fact that the speakers are omnidirectional, but I'm sure that has to have some sonic impact for them too. For how the sound radiates around the room, it must have a big impact on the sound. So the German Physiks were definitely a standout speaker for me in 2024. However, with a price tag of around £30,000 and really quite an unusual design, they are what I would class as 1% hi-fi, or in the 1% club, you know, designed for maybe 1% of audiophiles. But I'm fine with that, because if you are in that 1% who loves the sound, loves the look, and can afford a speaker at this level, then of course you're going to get some pretty amazing listening sessions from these, probably for your whole lifetime. So it's for all of those reasons that the German Physiks Borderland MK IV are very worthy of a PPS Standout Product Award for 2024. The next speakers I want to talk to you about are actually the ones that are sat there behind me, the SVS Ultra Evolution Titan speakers. And the Titans really impressed me this year because they are different, because they're not trying to be another, home cinema, very analytical type of speaker. Really quite the opposite. They're trying to be like a big, full, really bold, really quite warm, bass heavy, really fun speaker to listen to. And interestingly, I had another set of speakers here, very similar in price, very similar in size, that you would say is more of a traditional analytical type of speaker design. And I actually preferred the SVS Titans to them. So that really is saying a lot. For me, the Titans are about making music more of a physical experience, something that you do experience, being much bigger in the bass than pretty much any other speaker that I have had in here before. Bass that you feel on your body with effortlessness and ease. And that can make a lot of modern music sound very pleasing and fun. And I was also really impressed by the different design they have. The almost curved cabinet that looks curved, but it's not, with the dual opposed bass drivers on the front and the back, so like a subwoofer being built into them, which is exactly how they sound, and with a diamond coated tweeter for a mid-priced hi-fi speaker. That is not something that any other manufacturer has done, at least that I am aware of. And I enjoyed these speakers for their more laid-back mid-range and big warming bass, and for how they made music sound big and pleasing without being too fussy of the upstream hi-fi equipment. I think that is important for them. However, when I put them on the end of the Hi-Fi Rose RA180 amplifier, some pretty cool things started to happen in my room in terms of their soundstaging precision, clarity, and spaciousness, showing they have some very audiophile qualities with the right hi-fi system. Now, there were a few things that were a little bit underwhelming with the SVS Titans, such as the quality of the spikes that you install underneath them, the grills that come with them. I didn't love the grills, and also the look. I think it's quite a bland looking hi-fi speaker. And all of these were a little underwhelming for the price tag of just shy of £5,000. But overall, the Titans made a really big mark on me this year, and I listened to them a lot throughout the year with all sorts of different hi-fi gear and had a very good time doing so, which is why they are still here now. And they are definitely worthy of a PPS Standout Award for all of those reasons. And that leads me on to the winner, my best hi-fi speaker of 2024. And these speakers are from a manufacturer that I didn't even know existed until about a year or so ago. And that is because they are still quite a young company, even though they've been going for quite a long time. And as a manufacturer, I can't help but be impressed by the fact that they hand build all of their speakers in-house. And that just feels a world away from maybe mass manufacturing in the Far East in China in terms of a manufacturing approach. And I can't help but like the idea of skilled craftsmen building audiophiles' dream speakers by hand. I really, I can't help but love that approach. And I'm, of course, talking about the Audio Solutions Figaro M2 speakers that I had here just recently, but for not nearly long enough. What was really cool about doing this speaker review was the fact that it was the world's first time that the speaker finish that was sent to me was actually decided by viewers of this channel and by the UK audiophile community in a competition run by the Audio Solutions UK distributor, where everybody voted for their favourite speaker colours. So that was really pretty cool and fun to do. And that was possible because Audio Solutions custom build the speakers with the choice of thousands of different finish combinations to make the speakers special and individual to you. And they have a clever software that allows you to design the exact look of speaker that you want. And this part of the package really stood out to me as something different and a nice way into the future of buying high-end hi-fi speakers, making it more like how you select a spec and finish for a new car. But that alone wouldn't be enough unless the speakers really delivered on the sound quality. And boy, did they sound good in this room. I would say they was almost perfect for my own personal sound, preference and profile. Almost perfect. And again, they use a wideband mid-range driver approach, so no crossover in the vocal regions where humans are very sensitive. And the result is vocals that are smooth and dynamic and full, and they just grab you straight away as being just that little bit different and instantly gratifying. The Figaro also have a very smooth treble delivery, but that is still lively, so never lost or too soft. So there is still sparkle and height and atmosphere to the music, but never harshness. The bass was dynamic and full and never hit my room too hard in the deepest of notes to cause any room decay problems, but they gave me the illusion of more bass than that. So there is plenty of bass where you want it, but not where you don't want it. And being honest, I wouldn't have minded a bit more bass hit and impact, because I generally always do from pretty much all speakers, with the exception of the SVS, because they really do hit you loads, because they are like a speaker and subwoofer in one. But interestingly, the Figaro have a higher sensitivity than average of 91.5 dB. So that makes them more flexible for your choice of amplifier. And that is really important, because different audiophiles like different sounds, valve, solid state, etc. And I think that's so much more flexible than maybe a traditional super slim tower speaker that has an 87 dB sensitivity, which is pretty common, and therefore you need loads of power, and that means you're only really going down the solid state route. And the Figaro they sound really big, and they sound really warm, they sound really pleasing, but very dynamic, with fantastic audiophile sound staging going on, and that vocal just really stands out. And that sound profile just made me want to listen to music, more and more music, day after day. And I could have my brain switched on and be actively listening for a deep immersive experience, or switched off to just relax and let the music wash over me. It didn't matter, because the Figaro M2 were both musically enjoyable with many audiophile appreciated qualities. And quite often we get one or the other. Very rarely do we get both in equal measures. And I know that it helped that I got to listen to them off of an exceptional integrated amplifier, the Griffin Diablo 333, which is the exact same integrated amplifier I listened to the German Physiks Borderland MK IV speakers. So that was really telling for me, because the Figaro M2 cost, I think the cost for the spec of speaker I had here was around £11,000. That's still, of course, a lot of money. But the sound they was giving me was very, very close to the 3 times the price German Physiks Borderland speakers. So that was really telling to me. And that price of around £11,000 is still less than Kef's reference-free Meta, and a lot less actually than Bowers & Wilkins 804, the smallest tower speaker, obviously in D4. So yes, Audio Solutions doesn't have the brand name bragging rights of companies like Kef and Bowers. However, I'm pretty sure which speakers I would rather have here actually for 2025 in terms of sound profiles and what I like. So that is why, all of those reasons really are why the Audio Solutions Figaro M2 are very worthy, deserved winners of the PPS, Pursuit of Perfect System, Terry Ellis's Hi-Fi Speaker of the Year 2024. And interestingly, my journey with the Figaro speakers has not ended, because there's something special in the works right now. So look out for more about those speakers in 2025. So that is it for me. A nice short and sweet video, which is something different for me and this channel. That's because I'm going to make a separate video speaking about my best amplifiers and vinyl gear, and then another video about my favourite digital gear and AV products of 2024. And there'll be links to those videos in the comment section down below. I hope this video has been interesting. I hope it's been enjoyable. Hit the thumbs up if you have enjoyed it. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more.